Hello, my earthly souls. Welcome to my channel, Earthly Soul Tarot. My name is Daniel. Let's go ahead and do a collective reading for you guys today. This reading is timeless, so take it as it resonates at whatever time you are watching this reading. And let's go ahead and see what Spirit wants to tell you guys today. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle a little bit. Spirit, what can we tell collective today? Let me just light this incense really quick because I don't think it's fully lit. Alright, you guys. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. I'm going to start this reading off with an oracle card. I want to see what is the overall energy for your reading today, collective. So either this is something that your mind is on lately. I think it is. So let's see what your energy is telling us. So we have grow. So it seems like you're going through some type of growth here. Almost like I'm seeing like a metamorphosis, like a transition here. You could be growing out of something or growing out of someone. And let's dive a little bit deeper. Spirit, what is collective growing from? We have the Knight of Swords. I feel like you're coming out of a place of almost immaturity. And I don't mean immaturity in a bad way. I just mean like you're coming out of an energy of, you know, wanting to do things quickly and fast, and just being overly, I almost want to say like overly ambitious with things. It seems like you're growing out of this mindset and into a much more sustainable mindset here with the Four of Wands. Something that's a lot more, sorry guys, this light is so bright. Something that is a lot more sustainable. Do you know what I mean, collective? So yeah, it seems like you're doing a lot of maturing. I'm hearing a lot of maturing. We have the Two of Swords and the Page of Pentacles in reverse for you. Two of Swords. So you could be feeling a little bit almost, you know, stuck. You are going through a change, a transition. And so sometimes with change comes a little bit of confusion and just overall like a sense of feeling scared, of not knowing what you're growing into or what you're even growing out of. I feel like you don't even realize what you're growing out of at the moment. This could be affecting things when it comes to like your job, your career, just like getting things in order. It seems a little bit more difficult for you at the moment, but just remember that this is very transitional. This is only going to be happening for a short amount of time. You're going to grow out of this quite literally. Going to grow out of this very quickly with some help from Spirit, of course. We got the Tower. That's what you're going through right now. You're about to go through a tower, but you're about to turn into this beautiful King of Cups. So this is very much, I'm hearing like a very spiritual, very emotional transformation. So it doesn't have to do a lot with your physical body, more with like your spiritual self, your spirit, your soul. You're almost like leveling up, okay? So not only are you coming out of a very like fast, ambitious mindset, you're learning to be at peace with yourself, and you're learning, I'm also getting like learning to be more confident, because I feel like this stage you were at, the Knight of Swords, is somebody that's overly ambitious, maybe a little bit cocky, you know? But that cockiness stems from a place of insecurity. You know, wanting to always reassure yourself, and you're always seeking external validation. But you're growing out of that. You're maturing, like I said, and you're going to turn into this beautiful King of Cups. And the King of Cups is somebody that is very emotionally wise, very emotionally stable, and they're very sure of themselves and the way they feel. They know to accept their feelings and work with them, you know, instead of being driven by your feelings, if that makes sense. And so you're definitely doing a lot of spiritual growth here, especially in the next few weeks, even months. Spirit, what else? Got the Five of Pentacles here. And Spirit, what is this Five of Pentacles about? So a little bit of a feeling of, like I said, I mean, insecurity. What is the Five of Pentacles telling us right now, Spirit? Where does this Five of Pentacles belong in this reading? What are we not seeing? The Seven of Pentacles. So the Five and the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, and it seems like you're coming out of this energy here with the Five of Pentacles. You're coming out of the Five of Pentacles energy and into the Seven of Pentacles energy. At one point you felt very almost, you know, left alone by someone, either somebody or by, you know, spirit, your spirit team. You just felt very alone, like left out in the cold. Things weren't really moving for you, you know, the way that you wanted them to. You just felt very isolated. But it seems like all those years I'm hearing of hard work and mending to yourself, like, you know, taking care of yourself, is finally going to be paying off, collective, and becoming this beautiful Seven of Pentacles. You're finally like finding the little gifts that you've left yourself in the past. That's really beautiful. It's like in the past you left yourself little, you know, hints and little gifts for your future self, kind of like, oh, this is for when I'm healed. And now you're starting to actually see these little gifts and find them, and you're gonna realize that the whole time you were leading yourself, your future self, to something beautiful, which I feel is this Tower. You were leading yourself to your own transformation, whether or not you realize it or not. Queen of Cups popping up in this reading as well. So now not only do we have the King, but the Queen of Cups. This is complete emotional balance, spiritual balance, a balance between your feminine and your masculine energy. So I mean, you're quite literally becoming unstoppable. As I say that, the Chariot pops up in your energy. The Chariot is somebody who is very much in control, very much sure of where they're headed, you know, kind of like I always say, grabbing the bull by the horns. That's what I see the Chariot as. And then we got the Queen of Wands in reverse. Now the Queen of Wands in reverse tells me that usually I would read that as something like on a negative connotation, like, oh, I see the Queen of Wands as somebody who is very passionate, very bold, you know, very almost impulsive in some way. But she came out in reverse, and I feel like this is the energy that, like I said in the beginning, that you're coming out of. That Knight of Swords energy, for me, it's almost very similar to this Queen of Wands energy. And so that energy of like being what's the word? Overly sure of yourself. And I know that sounds bad, like it's not a bad thing to be too sure of yourself, but sometimes I feel like for you, it got in the way of you seeing things clearly. You know, you were a little bit biased with yourself. But you're coming out of that. You're coming out of that, collective. And the Eight of Swords had flown kind of to the side at one point. I noticed it, but I kind of ignored it. Which tells me, I don't know, that this feeling might just be pushed aside. This Eight of Swords feeling that you were in, or you will be in, of feeling stuck, you're not going to pay much attention to it because you're going to know that it's not real. I don't know, that's just the message I got from it. Literally, I don't know, that card was almost discarded. So, collective. Where are you headed, collective? So what comes after this? Spirit. What comes after this transformation? King of Swords and the Knight of Wands. So remember how we pulled the Knight of Swords in the beginning of your reading, collective? Now we have the King of Swords. So now, not only are you growing out of this Knight of Swords energy, you're not just growing out of it, you're actually learning how to level it up. Okay, so it's not that you're leaving your old self behind. It's that you're literally leveling up. You know, you're leveling your old self up into this King of Swords. Somebody that's a lot more mature. You're still ambitious. you're still, you still like getting things done your way, okay? You're still very much in that energy, but now it's just a much more refined and mature energy. The King of Swords. Now you're a king. And then we have the Knight of Wands coming up in your energy. And this is, to me, this is signifying something that, not something, but an energy of just feeling passionate, okay? And this almost seems like a fresh new perspective coming your way, a fresh new like sense of motivation. There could be new ideas coming to you after this transformation. You could start to see things differently, and it's going to excite you. It's going to light a fire within you. And I feel like, again, you went through this transformation. Now you're about to go through another one, because we're ending this reading with the Knight of Wands. Okay, so maybe your next transformation is going from the Knight of Wands to the King of Wands. Who knows, collective? But just remember that these cycles, they repeat, okay? They repeat themselves on higher levels. So just when you think, you're at the finish line when it comes to your spiritual growth, you're actually not. You're just at the next level. And it seems almost as if there are just infinite levels to this journey, this spiritual journey. But you're getting really far, collective, and that is a beautiful thing. Okay, guys, I want to pull one last oracle card. I like pulling them in the beginning and then the end of the readings. And this is going to be what Spirit wants you to focus / meditate on for the next couple of days, or for as long as you would like to. Spirit is telling me that if you meditate on this specific card, answers will come to you, okay? The road will become much easier to walk on. So pay attention, you guys. Pay attention. Spirit. Okay, so disguise. And off the bat, I'm hearing watch what you're trying to come off as. Specifically when it comes to being around other people, other energies. I feel like you're the type of person that will hide their true selves in order to be likable, or in order to be more digestible. And I was literally commenting about this on a friend's post today, about how I myself do that. I dim my light. I dim my own light to make others feel comfortable. And I feel like this message is very important. This is for somebody out there. Don't do that, okay? Spirit needs you to start meditating on, first of all, why you do this, why you disguise yourself, and how you do it as well, because sometimes we don't even realize the ways that we disguise ourselves. And apart from that, meditate on how you can, stop doing this. Meditate on how you can grow from this, and learn to kind of, uncover yourself when it comes to expressing your true energy, collective. So you guys, I hope that helped. That was your collective reading for this week. I hope that it resonated. Let me know in the comments if anything stood out to you, if any specific card or energy stood out, if you resonated with anything. I would love to hear about it. And you guys, if you don't already, feel free to follow me on TikTok. And it is the same then. Sorry guys, I'm like mixing over my words. Earthly Soul Tarot is my handle on TikTok. If you'd like to follow me on there, I post collective readings almost every day, zodiac readings, and I go live on there sometimes as well. So if you would like to meet me, say hello, and maybe ask for a card pull or something, or a message, mystery wanted to pop out here. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for staying around and listening to this reading. I hope it resonated. I love you guys, and stay safe.